Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss chapter number 7, Weather, Climate and Adaptations of Animals to Climate. Let's start this chapter. Okay, suppose we are heading for a hill station, and before going for the trip, if the sky is cloudy, the parents insist us to carry an umbrella, or we may brought the rain suit also. And if the sky is clear, then no need to brought the umbrella and other rain suits. Why we are necessary to bring the umbrella or other rain suit when the sky is cloudy? Because as you know, when the sky is cloudy, it may rain anytime. So we can predict the weather by just observing the sky, whether it is clear or cloudy. In the television and radio or in the newspaper, we have seen many daily reports of the weather. In this chapter, we will study about the weather and climate. We will also see how different forms of life are adapted to the climate of their habitat. Let's see the first topic. The first topic is the weather. Let's see a sample of weather report from a newspaper. Here is the weather report. In this weather report, we see the information about temperature, humidity, and rainfall during the past 24 hours, and many other things like sunset timing, sunrise timing, moonset, moonrise, etc. So these weather reports are prepared by a department called Meteorological Department of the government. This department collects data on temperature, wind, humidity, etc. and makes the weather prediction. They predict the weather for the upcoming days. It may be for a week or for a month. Next, let's do an activity. In this activity, we are going to cut out weather reports of the last week from any newspaper, and we have to collect the information and we have to write here. This is the weather data of a week. So for example, on 23/8/2006, the maximum temperature in degrees Celsius was recorded as 36.2 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature was 27.8 degrees Celsius. Minimum humidity was 54%, maximum humidity was 82%, and the rainfall in millimeter was nil. Likewise, for the consecutive days, for the weeks, we can collect the information from the newspaper and we can write accordingly here. Here, the rainfall column may not be recorded for all days because it may not rain every day. So if there is a rain, then we have to fill up this column, and if there is no rain on that particular day, then we have to leave it. Next, let's see how the rainfall is measured. Rainfall is measured by an instrument called rain gauge. Rain gauge is basically a measuring cylinder with a funnel on top to collect rainwater. Okay, in the activity above, when we record all the 7 days, some days may have same maximum and minimum temperature, but for all the days in that week will not have the exact parameters which is recorded in this table. So say for example, in a particular day the humidity may be very low, and on another day the humidity may be very high. So if the humidity is very high, then you may heard often say like today's weather is too humid, or something you may say that the weather was warm last week, like that, and so on. So let's define the term weather. Weather at that place is defined as the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. Okay, you have to remember that this word day-to-day condition. This day-to-day means that it is the conditions of the atmosphere for some days, it may be for a week, for 2 or 3 weeks. The temperature, humidity, and other factors that we have recorded in the weather are known as elements of the weather. As we know, weather is a very complex phenomenon. It is not easy to predict because sometimes it is sunny in the morning, but suddenly clouds appear from nowhere and it starts raining heavily. Or a heavy rain may vanish in a matter of minutes and give way to bright sunshine. So we cannot predict the weather easily. Okay, in this graph, it shows the maximum temperature recorded during 3rd August 2006 to 9 August 2006 at Shillong, Meghalaya. Let's see. This x-axis represents the dat, that is dat 3, dat 4, dat 5, dat 6, dat 7, dat 8, dat 9. And the y-axis represents the maximum temperature of that particular day. Say for example here 21 degrees Celsius, 22 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Celsius, and so on up to 27 degrees Celsius. Let's read this graph. On that tree, the graph is here. So in order to find the temperature on this particular day, we have to draw a line perpendicular to the y-axis, and we will find out at what temperature does this point lie. So here when we draw a line, we get 26. So on that tree the maximum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius. And let's find out again on that 4. On that 4 the point is here. So when we draw a perpendicular to the y-axis, we find somewhat here, it may be around 23.5. so maximum temperature on that 4 was 23.5 degrees Celsius. Likewise, we will find out the maximum temperatures on that 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and we are recorded here. In order to record the maximum or the minimum temperature of that particular day, there is a special thermometer for this purpose. The name of that thermometer is the maximum and minimum thermometer. So for a particular day, the maximum temperature generally occurs in the afternoon, while the minimum temperature generally occurs in the early morning. There is a question that how the weather is changes, or how the weather is different from place to place. All this answer is due to the sun. So all changes in the weather are caused by the sun. As we know, sun is a huge sphere of gases at very high temperature. The distance of the sun is very far from the earth. The main source of heat and light of the earth is the sun. So the sun is the primary source of energy that causes changes in the weather. Energy absorbed and reflected by the Earth's surface, oceans, and the atmosphere play important roles in determining weather at any place. So if we are near the sea, if we live near the sea, then we may feel different weather from the place in the desert or near the mountain. So the weather is also depends on the earth surface, oceans, atmosphere, etc.